Welcome back to our home renovation edition thing, cabinetry mini-series, giant not so mini-series. We're gonna keep going on some cabinetry construction today. I was going to start building this tall pantry cabinet thingy, appliance garage, but the hardware for the pocket door that I ordered, I got sent the wrong one, so that's gotta wait. I'm gonna start on this hutch cabinet thing, which goes right here, where his door is currently. So on this wall we have the two openings. This one goes into the entryway, and this one will go into the dining room. And in the middle we'll have this dishes cabinet that's like a hutch kind of thing. So here's what we're going to be building. We got this lower unit and then an upper unit which will sit on top of the countertop. On here we'll have all these drawers. We got the doors with the pull-out trays behind it, and then 5 upper door thingies here, with like a little like buffet area there in the middle. So that's like an elevation view of what we're building. And here is that cabinetry in cross section. So we have the lower unit with this little bump in area for the buffet. And one of the fun details here is this like fold away hatch thing for a plug mold, which will be, an area for plugging in chargers and storing devices down here to charge. Get that stuff, out of the way and get rid of the clutter. Up top, an interesting detail here is that the bottom of the face frame here is on its side, so it acts like a little ledge and wraps over the stile on the side of the door opening. So that's kind of a fun little detail there. And last time I adjusted this opening to get it in the right position. This opening is in the correct position, so that allowed me to get my final length of my cabinet, 86.5 inches long. So let's go make something, I guess. I gotta head out to the barn and grab some more material for face frames. So I have all my material here for the face frame for the lower cabinet. So I think I'm gonna start stepping through and actually building this thing and making a thing that has some drawer holes in it. Drawer holes. Okay, there's my sanity check. That's gonna fit there nicely and perfectly, and works out with my casings to my openings. So this is good and good. I can go back to the shop and get glued up, and then we can build the box to it. All right, this bad boy is back from paint, and it's this is a big cabinet. It's, what is it, 7'2" wide? So it's a lot of space. So one little thing as we start building up the boxes is going to be the detail on the side. This has a fully exposed side panel. So there's like one way you could do this, which is the side panel itself is the side of the cabinet. Or you can do what I'm going to do, which is going to be, there's basically two sides. There's a side for the interior, and then there's the actual side panel that will show. If you were just doing like open cavity cabinets, having that single panel side would give you a little more space on the inside, so you could have a little more space in there. But every single lower cabinet that has a door, it has drawers behind it. There are no just open cavity cabinets. So in my case, I'm just going to continue making this like I would for all the other ones and run my sides flush. That way my drawer slides can mount flush. I don't have to worry about blocking them out or anything, because that extra space in there doesn't really make a difference if you're going to be having all your stuff in pull-out trays. The trays are only as big as the opening, so having the extra space in there really makes no difference. And I'll just make it a little bit easier to install the slides and get my foot detail in there and all of that. So that's why you'll be seeing two sides. So, I mean, the rest of this is going to be fairly similar to the other ones that I've done so far. This is just bigger. So I'm just going to go through and put all my dominoes into my face frame now, and then just start adding all the pieces on, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, next up are these three dividers. So sort of an interesting feature of this cabinet is there's going to be this like charging station thing in the back that plugs, and you can actually drop your whole devices down into the compartment. It'll be mounted back in here. That is why the strip here is mounted forward, because this whole thing is going to drop in between the uprights of the upper cabinet. So this back piece here just has to get notched, and then this can go in the center divider, and I'll just put some strapping on the ends. The charging thing I will have to build and drop in place because it comes up flush with the countertops, and it actually goes almost all the way back to the wall. So that's going to be a drop in after install, I think. I think it's going to be the easiest way to do that. So that is the, I guess, what do you want to call it? It's the shell of the cabinet or whatever. Next thing is going to be the back panel. And just like what happened with the corner cabinet, I don't really want to, I don't want to splice 2 pieces of plywood so I can have my grain all running vertical. I'm going to run it horizontal. I know. And other than that, this is like almost an entire sheet of plywood on the back of here. The back is going to have that same notch detail for that cubby. So I need to cut the final size and then make a notch to go around that whole area where that cubby thing is going to go. For that plug mold thingamabobber. Plug mold holder. Let's call it that. Okay, now it's on to the side panel, which is going to go in here, and I have the drawings of how that's supposed to lay out and look. So there's a few details on here to kind of look at and address. First off is with the stiles and rails, we want a 4-inch show on all of those, and in order to do that, we have to think about all the things that are going on around the whole case. So for instance, on this left rail, we actually have the face frame of the cabinet, which comes in here. So that takes up 7/8 of the width on here. So this stile over here needs to be 3 1/8 inches wide. So it ends up at 4 when you see it. Up at top, we have the 3/4 cove molding. So that is going to add an additional 3/4 of an inch to that rail. So the top rail is 4 3/4. In the back of the cabinet, we have the casing for the door, which is going to come directly into the side of the cabinet. So that's going to take up some space back there too. So we need to add that onto the width of that stile. And then along the bottom, this has still got the 1/2 inch scribe for the floor, and this whole panel is going to get scribed to the floor with the rest of the case. So I need to add that onto the bottom as well. And then the field itself is a pair of V-panel boards. They're going to be evenly split in the space remaining, and the 2 panels are recessed below the face of the frame. So I'll end up making the frame thicker so that the whole thing is flush on the back side of the panel and it can be attached to the case. So I'm going to start by making the V-paneling and attaching the rails to that, and then we'll attach all that to the stiles. So there are the completed side panels. So this will kind of get mounted on here, flush with the face frame, and look something like that. I think this is going to look pretty nice. The material here, I didn't mention this before, but this is a moisture-resistant MDF. And then to do the V-groove, I don't have a V-bit that has a flat on it, so that's why I did the two different pieces together and put them back together, whatever you want to call that. I did that just with a chamfer bit. So this one and this one here are ready for some paint. So that's what I'm going to do next. So while those panels are off at the paint shop, I thought we would work on prepping the space so that when that bottom cabinet is ready, it can go right to be installed and set. So that means that we need to open this up, which I'm very excited about, finishing this opening, connecting it to the rest of the house, and closing up this opening. So this door was placed here the day we started demo. That was the old exterior door, which is kind of over there-ish. Is not even recognizable where it used to be. And we put it here to seal off the area, keep all the construction dust and debris kind of separated from the rest of the house, and just made this a whole kind of separate area of the whole house. So having this magic door here, which goes to the current kitchen, made this a lot easier. So first up, I think I'm just gonna pop a hole in this wall here, and once I close up the door hole, there'll be no way in here. Okay, fine. Holy hell, that's heavy. That's not the lightweight stuff. Oh my God. Goodbye, door. Okay, back to this thing. The side panels here are back from paint. I just put one coat of the top coat on here so I can join these together, kind of blend this seam out, and then I'll spray the whole thing as a single piece and make this look seamless. So I need some dominoes in the front here to glue the panel to the face frame, and we also need a filler or a spacer to pad this thing out from the plywood box. It should be 5/8, but I'll mill that up and I'll go between there, glue it all together, screw this thing to the case, and then it can go off for a little bit more painting. so while that cabinet's being painted, since we're going to be getting back into setting cabinets, once it's painted, it's coming in here and getting set. I figured we'd jump back to this and finish up setting these two cabinets. So our plumber did come out and set the sink to where it needs to be on this base unit. So now I can scribe this guy to the sink, set it, and then I can finish the install of the sink base by cutting all the holes through the back and setting in place as well. So this connection here is going to have to be caulked when it's all done. So I'm going to aim for a slight gap in here once the leg is touching the base unit here. So I have my scribe set to be just a little bit bigger than the gap between the two cabinets now. And I'm going to try and scribe as best I can, keeping it flat around this bottom curve thing here. And hopefully we can get it close enough. Okay, that's where that one's going to be. I'll leave this on just in case. I'm going to permanently set the left one, and we got to cut the holes for all of the stuff to go through the back of the sink base, and then that one can get set as well. Okay. Ugh. Well, that was an adventure. I think adventure is the right word for it. This is back from paint. I have my laser set to the scribe height. So I'm gonna install this one just like the other ones. It should be the same process, just a little bit bigger. So I got my adjustable feet on the blocks. I'll level it out on the blocks. Then I'll scribe it to the floor, cut the base to the scribe line, and then attach it to the wall, making sure it's in the right position left to right so my casings end up at the future jam location, or locations, because there's one on either side. So there's that one set in place. That's cabinet number 6 of 12 for the 12 cabinets that are here in the kitchen. So, I mean, in theory, we're halfway done. not even really close. Next time, I think we're going to try and get the pantry cabinet or the tall appliance garage cabinet thing built and finished up and installed. I still have the island to do. I got to do the refrigerator surround panel thing. I'm trying to get all of the base cabinets set and installed so that we are ready for the countertop fabricators so they can actually get that scheduled and get out here and start fabricating the stone for the countertop before I even bother starting on any of the uppers. So that's the general workflow that I have been I've been working on. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you, as always, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the home renovation, remodel, the kitchen thing, whatever we're calling it, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.